Hi everyone. So I wanted to make this video, even though it's before Christmas, something to think about, as many of you will probably want to make a renewed effort to lose weight after the beginning of the year, the new year. But if, you can obviously can apply now. But I wanted to talk about two things, and I know I always talk about mindset. But this is a little bit different take. I could talk about, motivation, and I've already done that many times before. And many of you know what that is, how much but I want to talk about one specific thing, well, actually two specific things tonight. And I will expand upon them in more videos in the beginning of the new year and even in lives. But one is, don't forget that while I believe my lifestyle is much improved even now, and I don't have all the weight off, but I believe it's much improved. And it's not that my income status has changed, my marital status has changed, I'm not dating, I'm not, there's nothing really any different. For me, I've gained a friend, but other than that, there's nothing all that different about my life, except that I can do more things. And so I wanted to encourage you to consider that it's not that, I'm going to be a millionaire, I'm going to have so much more money, I'm going to have, everything is going to be perfect in my life, there's never going to be any problems. It's more from a standpoint of having a more positive energy around you. And I feel that coming, and it's been there for a while now, and it just keeps improving. And that's one part of the lifestyle. How my life has improved. Other things, obviously, I can move around a lot more. It was much easier to get through New York and see all the sights and go up the stairs in the subway. Sometimes there's many, many flights to get all the way up to the top, depending on where you're at and all that. And I can do so much more. I feel like doing so much more. I feel like going places, trying new things. And I mean, hey, it's nice. I now fit into Mrs. sizes. Even jeans, I fit into Mrs. sizes now. I actually measured myself the other day, and it's like, yeah, I'm very squarely into those Mrs. sizes. Now the larger Mrs. sizes, of course, but I fit into the Mrs. sizes. So there's all kinds of new outfits that I can wear. So some that I wouldn't wear at my current weight, obviously, but many more items that I can fit into. But besides that kind of, looks wise, I'm not even thinking about looks so much, but just what I can do, what I want to go do, what, I want to be out more. I don't want to be as much of a hermit. I feel a little more positive towards people, and maybe people treat me a little more positive. But some people always treated me nicely, so it's not always that. But it's more the positive attitude, the I can do it, a better version of myself, even though, yeah, my income status has not changed. I'm, like I said, all these things have not changed except my attitude, because I've worked very hard to get a bunch of weight off, which is now 96 pounds. And I feel a sense of accomplishment. I feel so much better. And I mean, a part of it, okay, it's sort of a looks but not looks. It's like I fit into airline seats so much better nowadays. I don't feel, like, oh no, are they gonna make me buy another one? It's kind of freeing. And so those are just some of the lifestyle changes that I've seen. Is, mainly it's the mind, it's the mindset. And it makes everything seem better. I see it through a more positive lens. Not everything. I mean, obviously stuff happens. I get that. But it does help you feel like your lifestyle is better. There are things you can do. Now, I mean, obviously it depends on how much weight you have to lose. I've lost a lot of weight, and I have a fair amount more to go. I don't know exactly how much. I mean, but I have a fair bit more to go. I have more than I had a certain point I wanted to get to, and now I'm like, well, I think I get even lighter, have a little bit better ability to, be metabolically flexible if I go a little bit further than I was thinking in the first spot. But anyway, that is a lifestyle type thing. That's a motivation that some people forget, that can happen. And I've noticed that with me. And some of you probably have gotten to the point where you have that, and keep that in mind. It's positive attitude is golden. It's gold, it's treasure. Never underestimate that. And keep that in mind when things seem hard and whatnot. So here's the other thing I wanted to discuss. And that is, sometimes you look at things and you go, oh, do I really have to be that strict? Do I really not? I mean, I really want to have those burgers, the fry, the Friday night out, the Saturday night out, the restaurant, the whatever. I mean, I've mentioned before, you can have a cheat meal. I mean, you have your plan, I have mine. I can have a cheat meal each week as long as I'm very careful the rest of the day, and not going overboard and all that kind of thing too. But within reason. And there are times when I can kind of like let go, and every once in a while, and just have a wonderful evening, and not all day, but evening. Like I'm in Christmas Eve, I'm going to let go, and I'm going to have those cookies and whatever special candies, and I'm not going to have a ton of them, but I'm going to have, I'm not going to eat beyond satiety. If I had enough, I need to say that's enough and not try to eat more. But I'm going to enjoy all the fun stuff. I'll have hot cocoa or apple cider or whatever, I'm going to enjoy it. But besides that, lots of times, if you want to lose a fair amount of weight and really feel good about yourself, sometimes a little bit more aggressive can work. And I found that I've stopped resisting. Oh, it's really terrible. I had to be really strict, and because I have a health coach, and he's like encouraging me to okay, let's get some more off. I mean, obviously I have to have my days when I have a little bit more and I eat a little bit differently, a little more starches, a little more, have a day when I eat a little more calories. I keep track of my calories, but it's not like I have to have an exact calorie count or anything like that. It's mainly just keeping track. But I've gotten where I don't resent that anymore, because I've learned that if I choose wisely, even when it's getting colder, and yeah, I know it's not as cold right here in Denver as it is in, like, say, New York or any number of other places in the country, and it's warmer in some places than it is in Denver, but it's been nice this week, 50s and 60s. So I've taken advantage of it with taking thosthose walks and getting the sunshine and trying to get that weight off, because I'm taking advantage of the weather. But and that's all part of it. Even though it's not all about just exercising and that's going to take care of all the weight, obviously not. It's mainly diet. It can be helpful in many different ways. The sunshine, the getting out, the positive attitude. It's easier to sleep if you get enough exercise, all the kind of stuff, because you need enough sleep to get really good weight loss as well. But when it comes to the diet, yeah, I eat a lot of fruit, some vegetables, some sugar, and protein. And I am very careful about which items I eat. And I also know which ones are more satisfying than others. I know Greek yogurt is a better choice than regular yogurt. I know that cottage cheese can be very helpful. I know that I have to keep my protein down a bit for me. There are reasons why, which we don't need to go into, but it's better for me and other health-wise for me these days. But um, I don't only eat those things. I mean, I can have a little bit of, like some plantain chips or something like that. But the thing is that I've learned to enjoy it. I've learned to go, oh, great, I mean, this time of year, there are those lovely pomegranate seeds. There's, I can go to Whole Foods and find these lovely different kinds of, different kinds of sweet potatoes and different kinds of apples and pears and, and sometimes they'll have these sweet cherries. I don't know where they get them from, but they're delicious, by the way. I can get some Parmigiano Reggiano. I can find some other lovely cheese, have a tiny amount of, a little bit of, and, kind of, and once in a while I can get a little bit of Haagen-Dazs ice cream if you're somebody who can keep it to a small amount. There are ways of, I mean, if you can't, then, don't, but have a little bit of chocolate once, dark chocolate, just 50 calories and it steals my wool, so to speak. But finding ways of, here's a different kind of, chicken I haven't tried, a different fish I haven't tried, or here's a different recipe that sounds really delicious, and here's how to kind of mix it up, because this time of year, I don't always do well with only fruit and coffee in the morning. Sometimes I'm just perfectly fine. Today it was like, great, I'm just doing great. And sometimes I wake up and I am hungry in the morning, and so I will have, if I'm doing starch, a little bit of starch, like a sweet potato kind of O'Brien. I might do an egg in the morning. I might do a little bit of Parmesan cheese in the morning. I make it fun. But the main thing is that I'm not afraid to choose very smart, filling foods and let myself have a natural, because I have a lot of weight to lose, more of a calorie deficit if I don't feel I'm that hungry that day. And even so, if I need more food, making it all the whole foods, the more health, and not whole foods as in, not the fattiest things in the face of the earth. But do I have avocado quite often? Yeah, I'll have an avocado or part of an avocado. I sometimes have the whole avocado. It depends on how my day goes. But I'm not afraid to be in a little more of a caloric deficit. It's not always about the calories. It's about, I don't know. I mean, how do you get that 1.7 pound loss in a day? Well, it's not all about the calories, obviously, because I can't expend that much energy. But it's eating that healthy diet, having that exercise, and sometimes you're going to get a little bit more off. Sometimes it's going to be a little more stubborn. But overall, it's worked out really well for me. And I mean, I will admit, November was not a particularly, I thought it was 9, I think it was actually 8 pounds that I lost during the whole month. But I had like Thanksgiving, I had 2 different Thanksgiving meals about a week and a half apart from each other. And there was some other, I had a kind of a stall the first week in November. And those things happened. But then I got going again, and I'm really going. And so, I'm not afraid to have those days when I eat a little bit more. I'm not afraid to say, I've only eaten, 550, 600 calories, and I don't want any more, and be happy with that, and not be all, oh no, my whole metabolism is going to be all, no, not if you do it all the time, it might be a problem. But I'm not afraid to have those days, those under-calorie days. Not afraid of it. I'm also not afraid to eat more of the healthy, clean foods if I need to. But I'm not afraid of doing this. Now I realize I'm single and all that. I can make my excuses. Everybody can make their excuses, but don't be afraid of losing a little more weight, being a little more, strict, because the reward is that your rubber band effect is even going to be even greater. That I talked about the other day. You do something one way and then you go back the same, and it's even better that way. And so, yeah, I would just say, if you have a health coach that's a little more aggressive about it, maybe give it a try. Don't be so afraid to give it a try, and give it a little trial and error and see what works for you. I'm not talking about extremes, please. If you want to do that, it's your affair, but I'm not into extremes. I'm just saying, sometimes if you're not hungry, I don't know. I found it works out really well for me. And other days, I need to eat a little bit more. So those are two things. Just, remember lifestyle. That's a big motivation. How much better, even positive thinking wise, your life can be if you lose some weight, and you accomplish something, and not being afraid of being, a little more strict and clean in your diet, or whatever your approach is on your diet, for a little bit better results sometimes. I know there will come a point when I'm not going to be able to drop the weight as easily, but right at the moment, I'm able to. So I am, making hay while the sun shines, so to speak. So now that I've rambled on, you all have a great evening, what's left of it, or morning if you're seeing it in the morning. And I will see you again in a few days. Bye-bye.